Hello everybody. I'm delighted today to introduce you to Tracy Sedman. Hello Tracy.
Hi Bettina, it's great to meet you. It's actually an honour and a privilege to be sitting here with you.
Thank you.
Having this discussion.
Well, I should explain to people, Tracy's a woman with a lot of experience, particularly around school education. She had 10 years as a primary school teacher, and she now works as an educator in sort of sex and reproductive health, mainly teaching teachers, other youth workers about handling these sort of issues.
Yep.
Yeah. And also she works for one of the big organisations providing that sort of education of educators, I suppose it is. But also you do some outside work where you're still involved directly with teaching kids around this sort of stuff.
That's correct. With in youth centres, refugee centres, and with teachers as well.
Yeah. And I was delighted when I heard from you because you're interested in what the work I've been doing around sexual consent and the fact that I've been speaking out about my concerns about yes means yes laws. I did a video last year with Lorraine Finlay, who's a law lecturer at Murdoch University in Western Australia. And as a lawyer, she's very worried about the implications of these laws. And Tracy contacted me because she is working in schools where there's a lot of pressure to move in the same direction.
Yeah, so currently as part of my role, and I must say that I'm speaking from my own experience, I'm not here representing any organisation, so I'm here on my own terms. So I'm currently rolling out a program across New South Wales. One of the core modules is on consent.
Yep.
So when I discovered what you were doing, and it's matching with what I'm doing, and it's also correlating with the current review that's going on in New South Wales regarding consent laws, I was really keen to have a chat, see where this is going. Yeah, and the issues that I've come across, issues that I'm concerned about with, perhaps that if there are changes in the law, but, things that we could maybe do better as a government and as a community, and as women.
Yep.
And involve our men in these conversations as well.
Yeah, we've been looking at in New South Wales there's been a law reform. The Law Reform Commission has been asked to look specifically at the idea of introducing enthusiastic consent laws. Tracy and I had a look at the submissions that are being put into the Law Reform Commission, public submissions, and the women's groups are systematically lobbying to get the consent taught in this sort of way in schools.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
I mean, when we looked through those different, one after the other, they were saying we must be starting early with this, we must start teaching the kids about enthusiastic consent. So this is where we have to be warned, people, about where this is all heading. You sent me a video which is, I know, astonished to see it's had 6 million views. This video called The Morning After. And it's used in a lot of programs, not necessarily in Australia, but in various other places. And I think that's quite useful for people to see the sort of messages they're pushing. So we'll show a bit of that now.
You're leaving?
Hey, yeah, I have a ton to do today, so I gotta get going.
We go get breakfast or something.
Maybe another time, okay?
Yeah, next time.
How was the rest of your night?
It was okay. I actually ended up hooking up with that guy, Alex.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
How was it?
Okay.
Oh, a little late, aren't you?
I didn't think I was gonna see you at all today, man.
I was betting on you the whole night, though.
It was okay. I mean, I was so drunk, so I didn't get off or anything, but it was fine. It was okay.
Well, that sounds like every little girl's dream.
Totally.
Did you like him? Are you gonna see him again?
I don't know. He was like kind of aggressive.
Did you guys like?
I'm a respectable dude.
Man, come on, man. Stop fronting on us, man. What really happened?
Yeah, we did.
What? Who can?
Nice.
Yo, I am really impressed, man. I am really impressed.
Yo, she seemed pretty uptight, though.
No, she was fun after a couple drinks.
More like 10.
Like sexy aggressive?
Sort of. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really know if I'm into him.
He's so nice. What, did he have like a super weird dick or something?
No, it wasn't that. He was fine. It's just, he was kind of pushy.
You gonna see her again?
I don't know, hopefully. I mean, she got kind of weird afterwards.
Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, sometimes they just don't know what they want.
What do you mean by pushy? Like, pushy how? I don't know. I said no at first, and then he just, like, kept going for it. Yeah, we had sex. I don't know, it just sort of happened.
It just sort of happened? Wait, what happened exactly?
I mean, we were fooling around, and I told him that I thought I was too drunk and that we shouldn't just then, but I don't know. He just kind of started, and then when I stopped him and asked him if he could just get a condom at least, he didn't, and I figured, I mean, we were already going, so I don't know. It just felt kind of gross after.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I mean, but like, I went home with him, so I don't really know what I was expecting.
I mean, you said no,
yeah.
and he did anyways.
Now, Tracy, I'm interested in your comments about that. I mean, I thought that was quite intriguing in a way, which is, I think, actually a very typical thing to happen. There's a girl who has some qualms about what's happened to her, partly because she gets totally pissed and get into a situation where she can't really give consent.
Yeah.
And then she goes and talks to a girlfriend who starts getting her to reframe what's happened to her as if it could be rape. You know, you could just see that happening in that video, which is really interesting. And then you have scenes of the boys where these boys are, you know, all gung-ho and saying, oh, did you get any? And I mean, I just think
Really
that's
stereotyping boys.
Absolutely offensive stuff, but that's what we often see in these videos.
Yeah.
Of males behaving badly, you know, and the girls are all innocent and the girls are... And anyway, tell me what you saw as going wrong in that video.
Okay, so I was very well aware of this video. I've been aware of this video for quite some time. So in one of my courses when I was delivering it, I actually had a participant that said to me, oh, goodness golly, you know, what's this withdrawing consent afterwards? And I kind of looked at her and she said, you know, I've seen this video the morning after. So she referred to the video, and then someone else said, yeah, I've seen that video too.
Yeah.
So these were two women as well, and they were like, there's a lot wrong with that video. So, and what they had found wrong with it was very much along the lines of what I had found with it. So, for instance, the points that you had suggested that it was very stereotypical of demonising the boys, to, you know, have all this, you know, sex talk going on and you know, very nonchalant and
scoring.
Scoring, all of this kind of language, which, you know, that language was phased out a long time ago. Yeah. Then we have the female retelling the story. She talks about, you know, that she was drunk, but she's really able to tell the story in some detail where she even talks about, you know, I asked him to get a condom at least. So first of all, she's sending mixed messages. You know, she said in the one breath, I didn't consent. I said no. I asked him to stop. But then she says, I asked him to get a condom at least. So, you know, that's mixed messages again. We're only hearing her version of events. And, you know, her friend, the whole situation seems to be reframed. So for someone that was quite drunk, she seems to be aware of what's going on. Now, the other issue that came up, and this is really important, was she claimed in the video that the boy was being aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, what one of my participants picked up, they said, was he being aggressive or was he being over-enthusiastic?
Well, of course, that subtle difference has gone out the window these days, hasn't it?
Yeah, and she said, you know, one person's idea can be very different to another.
In the end, she says, I figured, well, we're already going. So at some point, she clearly gave consent.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't say, initially she'd said, you know, I'm not sure, maybe I'm too drunk, I'm not sure. But you can see from the interaction, he could easily have interpreted her as saying, okay, then let's go for this.
Yeah, because we don't know, from that video, we don't actually know what is her physical role in this. So, you know, she indicates that she did continue. So did she continue because she felt that she had to? So there's all of this grey area that's going on.
And as you say, physical, you know, it's not just what comes out of her mouth. And one of the big questions is, does she continue to touch him? Does she show...
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, do things to arouse him, or does she lie there like a starfish? I mean, what is going on there?
Yeah, so it's really hard to make a judgment.
If you look at that video, I mean, what is absolutely missing is any discussion between these girls about her drinking.
That's correct.
And never any question of whether what she should have done differently.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is what's missing from all the sexual consent.
And this is the thing, we're always focusing on, with current models that are out there, what can the men do differently?
Yeah.
But let's just step back and think, well, what do us women need to do? I mean, I'm not victim blaming women. I myself, I have been sexually assaulted, and it was quite aggravated sexual assault. So, and I'm probably not your typical victim who's, sitting in a corner crying. I'm speaking out because, we all have brothers, we all have fathers, we all have husbands, we all have lovers. We all have a lot of men in our life. And I don't want the average man, the everyday man, the men that we love, to be demonised like true aggravated rapists are.
You're saying that you're seeing in the sexual consent courses that you see out there, in what you're hearing about what other people are teaching, there's nothing, and there's a very, very deliberate avoidance of any question of women's behaviour and what they're doing or not doing to indicate consent. That's what's always struck me as what's missing from all of this. It's all about him seeking consent from her and nothing about whether she's actually conveying consent.
Yeah, that's really important, because there was actually something in one of the submissions where that was actually mentioned, that there's this, they want to have this review because there's little responsibility of men stepping up and, not asking enough. And it's like, do they realise that women need to be doing the same? We can't keep demonising that it's men's fault.
Yeah.
What are us women doing? So yeah, in terms of education, what I've seen from other providers, be it international or in Australia, is I've looked at some of the things, and the emphasis is all on the male responsibility.
Yeah. But let's talk about the women. I mean, for women to convey consent, they firstly have to know their own minds. What do you hear from girls, and what do you know from your experience about what are the reasons why girls may not want to give consent? There's a thing of, I really want him as a boyfriend if I don't go to bed with him.
Now that's a big one that has come up. That's a really big one that has come up, and I've had that feedback where people say, I'm not going to say no, because if I say no, he's not going to like me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? Or, he's not going to date me because I might be a little bit more frigid than, say, the other girl. So, and this is something that actually does come up in scenarios that I do. And I, say, well, where is this coming from? That's not coming from the man in front of you or the boy in front of you. This is coming from your own mind.
Well, it might be coming from the boy in front of you in that he gives the impression that unless you come...
But is that a stereotypical impression that
Well,
that
maybe
is
he is saying something to make you think, if I don't go to bed with him, he won't be interested in me. But he's got a right to express that view. You still have to make a decision.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with a man showing interest. I mean,
Well, but it's nothing wrong with a man being honest and saying, indicating that sex is... If sex is on, or it's not going to happen, I'm not interested in a girlfriend. That's a perfectly reasonable position for a male to have.
That's right. And that's what they talk about. If we're looking at the affirmative role that they want, the path that they want to go down, well, isn't a man being upfront and honest?
Yeah, that's right.
So there's nothing wrong with him doing that.
But what they're then teaching is she can have sex because she wants him as a boyfriend. And if he turns around and turns not to want her as a girlfriend, she can then punish him by withdrawing consent.
That's correct. This is where the mixed messages come in,
Yeah.
okay? And where, they have different expectations. Now, it's interesting you mention that, because I have had, outside of my my workplace, I have had I know of a youth worker. We've had conversations about this. They're going through a scenario with a young boy where that kind of thing has happened. The young girl was putting it on him to engage in sex. He didn't want to. I'm not sure if alcohol was included, but he kept saying he didn't want to. He didn't want to have a girlfriend. He was very aware that she wanted something more long-term. He didn't want a long-term relationship. She persisted. The words to me were, she pestered him. He gave in. So, he was coerced, so to speak. He gave in to having a sexual relationship. And the next day, when he said, you do understand that this is, we're not in here for a long-term relationship, she has now started against him, and I believe she may have even, in fact, be pressing charges against, rape. The issue with that video that I have is this has been made public. Okay, as you said, 6 million viewers have seen this video. Now, that particular video might be relating to a particular state in America that has specific laws. Okay, so that's fine. But that video has been seen by women from all over the world.
Yeah.
So women from all over the world start thinking this is normal. Okay, therefore, if this has happened to me, it's sexual assault. So their minds are confused.
That's right. We're training girls to take action against boys who let them down. Essentially, what we're teaching regret sex is rape.
Yes, yeah, we are, and that's really concerning.
And I'm really concerned with all what's happening here. We need to get active. This is a very worrying issue, and I'm very pleased to have you on board, Tracy.
Thank you. Yeah, look, people do really need to get active. We need to be proactive, okay, instead of reactive to policies that are put out there and laws that are put out there.
Well, thank you very much for being here, Tracy.
Thanks, it's been great.
And nice to talk to you. Thanks everybody for supporting me on my YouTube channel. I've got growing numbers of subscribers, which is really exciting. If you'd like to support me financially, go to my donate page on my website. Thanks a lot.